Hi everybody, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Crick playing in their Bourrasque, and let me tell you, this is going to be an overpowered masterclass of a video, playing one of the most popular and overpowered tanks in the game. It's the one and only French faithful Bourrasque. And we also have the pleasure of having a voice acting by Chuck Norris here. Yeah, that's right. I've definitely hired him to be commentating on all of these shots. He's definitely not one of the first Christmas commanders. He was the first Christmas commander, I believe, inside World of Tanks. So today's going to be a battle of can QuickyBaby survive? Also, kind of like maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. Who knows? We'll have to see how long this game's going to go on. But to be fair, most of you have probably seen the length of the video, but just how much is Uncle Scrubs going to just wobble on at the end, we'll have to wait and see. Can I survive like 10 to 15 minutes of Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris's voice acting was kind of interesting for maybe the first battle, and then afterwards I originally put him in my Kranvang, and then I was just like, no, this yeah, I felt like he was trolling me the whole time, and so I relegated him to artillery. So now he's in my Conqueror gun carriage, so he's chilling out, having fun there. But Crick obviously likes that dry Chuck humor, or maybe regrets. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any commanders that you kind of like just couldn't handle. And if I hear it's Agent QuickyBabs, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. That's it. So Crick today is in a +2 matchup against an IS-7, an E50M, and no longer a Kampfpanzer 07 RH. And why is the Bourrasque so good? I mean, it's easier to kind of list the reasons why the Bourrasque isn't good, to be honest. It's 720 alpha, delivered in 2 seconds, and the only real downside of this vehicle probably is the penetration. 190? What is that? That definitely isn't World of Tanks. But this vehicle's not really meant to be that kind of high penetration, shoot the heavily armored targets in the front. It's meant to be more of a tank that engages the side, the rear, and gets the vision in and provides some assistance. And slipping in there by Crick and just getting rid of both of their tank destroyers after they got rid of the Kampfpanzer, beautiful stuff. And that's what you can do in a Bourrasque if there aren't any light tanks, or if light tanks have managed to get themselves in a lot of trouble. Because it's sneaky. For some reason, it's got 14.48% camo while moving. That is better than a lot of light tanks have at tier 8. And it allows the Bourrasque to just put itself into position to deliver these nice, big, sweaty rounds. Now, the equipment that Crick is using is tremendous. All Bond equipment, the vert stabs with the aiming device, getting some really good accuracy and gun handling there, and electing to use coated optics on this tank to be able to boost out some view range. And I guess on a map like this, against rather large targets, absolutely kind of limited use for the vision system compared to be using the coated optics here and just having that raw view range, especially with Bond coated optics, will significantly help. So in this kind of game, even though Crick has managed to get a vehicle killed themselves and also probably get a couple of vehicles killed on the enemy team with their vision, they're still down by a couple of tanks, and there's 2,000 hit point disparity, and I think you can start to see what kind of game this is beginning to be. And that's not what you want to see. A platoon of hard-headed E75s, and not just hard-headed with the way that they're playing, driving straight back to try and get rid of these filthy Bourrasques, but also very hard frontal armor. E75s are very hard to deal with for this vehicle. Even if you were to load gold and you've got 240 millimeters of APCR pen, that is not enough to deal with the front of an E75 in many situations. And is this standard rounds being fired at an IS-7 now? Well, one of them actually went in, showing you that vehicle, even though it's very troll from the side, is not perfect. And the Bourrasque at least gets one in against the Soviet heavy tank in that scenario. Okay, so Crick is trying to communicate with the Bourrasque on their team, telling them to fall back, telling them to follow them. They're saying, let's not cap, let's go back and try and defend. In this kind of a situation, I think that's got to be best. If they sit in that cap circle, I don't think in the 50 seconds it would take 2 Bourrasques to cap, you couldn't expect a G-Saw or a Pantera to come back and interrupt. But second by second, minute by minute, this game is starting to look more and more grim. And when you see a full health tier 9 medium tank, no matter how poor of a vehicle it is, usually played in the form of the G-Saw tank, it's still a threat. That thing has wonderful HE rounds, and the Bourrasque, it doesn't have armor, pretty much. 40 at the front, 20 at the side, and 15 on the turret. HE rounds go through this thing super easy. Luckily, the G-Saw firing AP managed to see the Bourrasque through the bushes there, and luckily, Crick's friend, who's called Finn Barrett, gets the side of the G-Saw and distracts the G-Saw, which allows Crick to put in one shot through the front, and also then hopefully follow it up with another shell right through the side. And luckily the G-Saw whiffs, and that tracking shot and a reload communication by Crick allows their friend. Did I say they were Finn? Actually, Daniela. Sorry, Daniela. I apologize. Daniela, to be able to finish them off. But unfortunately, Daniela is not going to be too well anymore. With Crick saying bro in the chat, and then sad face with 2 Slavic brackets. But Crick doesn't have time to faff around. Oh, a bit of an awkward shot there means that they take a shell from the Pantera. That was not the best. But also, I think we can forgive, considering how much of a tense situation this is. Alright, so Crick's trying to get into a position to help the final remaining tier 10 tank on their team, and they have the side of an IS-7 and the side of a Skoda T56. Crick is already up to 6,000 combined in this game, but if you think 6,000 combined is enough to win a game of World of Tanks these days, well, you're going to be wrong. And Crick finds themselves in a 1 versus 6 situation with Dinla getting themselves caught out. And this isn't a 1 versus 6 situation where every vehicle on the enemy team is a one-shot. This is a 1 versus 6 situation against 3 higher tier tanks, including an IS-7 on 4 kills, who is just thinking about that 5th right now. Thinking about that 5th. Going forwards. 3 marks of excellence on the IS-7, so that has to be a satisfying shutdown. This is going to be a battle of the sweaties. And right now, 2 E75s, those hard-headed E75s, on Crick's left, and a Skoda T56 in the front, possibly a Bourrasque behind, with an ISM supporting. I mean, what's the play here right now, boys and girls? The play right here, right now, is get forwards, nuke on the move. Oh, big moment. Oh, yes, with the vert stabs, those Bond vert stabs, improving that gun handling to allow the Bourrasque to hit there. And the 2 E75s, are they going to catch the shot? Oh! Crick manages to get away with still 681 hit points. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that 1 versus 6 is starting to look a lot more possible. Although still, come on. 2 E75s higher tier, ISM as well, who has been playing since the game began in the beta, and also a maxed out rank Bourrasque. Are there any Bourrasques out there that aren't max rank now? There's probably a few of them. And luckily Crick manages to spot that E75. And will the hard-headed E75s just continue doing circles on this map? Where is this ISM? Where is this Bourrasque? Crick down to 661 hit points, which means that they are a 2-shot pretty much guaranteed if the Bourrasque catches them. So it's going to be a who shot first kind of scenario. And luckily for Crick, the Bourrasque is a 1-shot, so that might mean that they actually don't have to take that follow-up 360 damage. But they don't have time to look for the Bourrasque, they don't have time to look for the ISM, because it looks like these E75s are going to work the cap circle. And with 30 seconds left, Crick has go. Oh, it's a Bourrasque! That is not what you wanted to see, and that means that now Crick has to hide for at least 10 seconds. So go on about 8, 7, oh no, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, should be able to go up into the ridgeline now. Okay, unspotted. But now the E75s know exactly where he is. And these shots, they aren't very likely. So Crick actually switches to HE. 3, 2, 1, 0. Interrupt on the cap circle. Get out of there. That ISM could be able to hit you from the side as well. And after only hitting 1 HE shell, the situation looks no better. Okay, thank goodness the E75 actually leaves the cap circle, starts to drive towards Crick. I think that's a huge misplay by the E75 there. They could have put pressure up on Crick, who was loading gold rounds and not that single HE shell, to be able to try and interrupt the cap circle. And again, man, 30 seconds left to interrupt a single E75. One E75 pushing through ISM that we know was towards the southwest of Crick's position. How are they going to interrupt this E75? Well, they're going to change the angle, look for a new shot, and unfortunately the E75, who has all the cap right now, is not a one-shot. Again, we reach that moment where we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, which is beautiful. Another 98 base defense points. And while the first shot goes in, unfortunately the second one ricochets off, meaning they've still got to deal 1,000 damage to that E75 with only 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game. What you're seeing here, boys and girls, is just an absolute masterclass of overpowered tank work. You're in a bottom tier tank having a top tier impact. This is a beautiful game of World of Tanks. And those E75s, they realize, yeah, we're not going to cap. This Bourrasque is still just going to keep hitting us from different angles. So let's go and hound him down and hopefully be able to catch him. But interestingly, the ISM gets spotted under the train tracks right in the open, and that's going to hopefully allow Crick to be able to get not just one, but hopefully the second one in there as well. We'll have to see if the ISM appears with less than half of their hit points. So Crick is starting to actually run low on ammunition here. 4 standard rounds, and that shell did go into the ISM, and 5 gold rounds left. And against those E75s, he's going to need at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 of these gold rounds. So they're actually going to use intuition to switch out to regular rounds here, and that is just such good play to think and have a game plan, and to not be just thinking 1 move ahead, but thinking 2, 3, 4 moves ahead, and to realize, hey, I'm going to need all these gold rounds for the thicker armor, and to use the regular rounds for the ISM there. This is not just the gameplay of someone who goes in and just loads full gold and just wastes their credits and uses premium consumables left, right, and center. This is the gameplay of someone who is using all of their tactics, all of the knowledge of the enemy tanks to use the correct ammo and save themselves hundreds of thousands of credits over the long run of play like this. And still, as we can see, still being brutally efficient. With 8,000 combined in this game and 2 minutes 40 seconds left on this game, Crick is not just thinking about trying to get one more kill and to grab that top gun and say, it's a good game. Crick isn't that kind of player. Crick is the kind of player that wants to take it all and be able to grab the victory no matter how hard of a situation is happening here. So those E75s, they could be anywhere. Crick's looking for them, seeing if they're going to try and harass the cap circle again, and they're actually at the back of the map right now. Are they expecting the Bourrasque to be able to make their way through? Can Crick really risk one of the shells here? They do. Right through the side. Do they go for the second? And they hit it as well. That is huge, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because that now means that both of these E75s are a one-shot. They're in the corner, and now the tables have turned. The 1 versus 6, where the Bourrasque was being run down by a 3-mark IS-7, is now in a situation where the Bourrasque is actually hunting the 2 top-tier tanks, or the 2 mid-tier tanks, the 2 higher-tier tanks that are now both a one-shot. And I don't care how overpowered the Bourrasque is. The Bourrasque isn't this overpowered. It's Crick who is the overpowered player in this scenario, and it's now time. It's time for the final showdown. The siren goes off. 1 minute and 15 seconds left on this game now. It's time for Crick to see if this is going to be just an incredible game of World of Tanks or an incredible victory in World of Tanks. So Crick gets forwards into the bush, spots both E75s at the same time. Just can't pen from this angle. Only if the E75 has the clean shot there, and they don't want to reveal their position. They're going to have to, though. Do they go for the weak point? Do they go for the lower plate? Roll the dice. 50-50. Is Crick going to reload here? They are. They don't want to take the chance of a one-shot bouncing off the E75. And with 40 seconds left on the game, boys and girls, you could cut the tension with a knife. It's so thick. Crick thinking about going for the weak point on the E75. How are they going to dig out this E75 in this kind of scenario? Do they go left? Do they go right? Do they assault the front? Well, they've got to make their mind up because they've only got 25 seconds left. Crick's going to see if they can get round the side. Are they going to avoid the proxy spotting circle? Yes, they are. They're going to turn towards the left, avoid the proxy. Oh, no, 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 no. With 13 seconds left on the game, Crick went to look for the weak point on the E75, and ladies and gents, boys and girls, over 9,000 combined, probably pretty much 10,000 combined, including those blind shots, wasn't enough to win this game. What an absolute heartbreak. And Crick is just my kind of player. Somebody who, no matter how low T you are, no matter what the odds are, get through, nearly get through one of the most almost impossible scenarios and do everything that they can to give themselves a chance to win. The intuition switch to an HE to give them that extra time when they knew that they couldn't pen the E75 at long range. That intuition switch to use those regular rounds on the back of the ISM. The knowledge to be able to push through when there's no light tanks or mediums to be able to get through and dig out those TDs. And nearly taking down a 1 versus 6 against 3 higher tier tanks, including that IS-7 with 3 marks. Man, Crick, this was a heartbreak of heartbreaks. And just how much experience do you get for a loss in a game like this? This is 1,449 base experience for a loss. And that IS-7 on the enemy team, they were up to 7,800 combined and 3,800 assistants. They did 12k combined nearly. But Crick, not quite able to get it done here with 10.5, but this was still just a tremendous replay. 65,000 credits profit without a premium account. I mean, that's just showing you that Crick isn't just one of those typical Bourrasque players who loads only gold and accepts the expensive ammo loadout. This was just an absolute overpowered masterclass, not just from the Bourrasque being overpowered, but Crick being a terrifying player to meet on the battlefield. So Crick, congratulations to you on this Omega game of World of Tanks. If you include Courageous Resistance, this would actually be like 2,200, nearly 2,300 base experience. You know you have to have had a special game for me to want to feature a Bourrasque on this channel, because yeah, the Bourrasque is overpowered, and there are so many great Bourrasque games, but this one still completely stands out from the bunch. And thank you so much for uploading it on the QuickyBaby.what-record.com website for the community to enjoy. And I'd thoroughly encourage any of you out there who have epic games to also upload those replays there to stand a chance of being featured on the channel. Although good luck being as good as Crick is. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that's it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Wednesday, I'm going live all day on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby with brand new drops tokens. So come and grab them while they're fresh. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.